Today's episode is brought to you by thedarkroom.com.
Well, you know I've been low, but I'm coming up, baby. I'm coming up, baby.
Hey there, my little cat, kittens, and camera enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode where I sound like absolute garbage because I'm getting over a cold. We also talk about film, photography, and some stuff, and some more things. So you're in the right place. Just stick with the graveling, sexy voice. Today we're going to be talking about something more divisive than which Star Wars film should you show your kids first? The answer is episode 1, The Phantom Menace. No. It will be a blistering showdown between two classic film camera types, the Rangefinder and the single lens reflex, also commonly known as an SLR. But no, not DSLR. That D standing for something we do not talk about on this channel, so don't even ask. Honestly, this episode has been a long time in the making. I've tried to shoot this episode twice, but things just didn't work out as planned. Oh no. Caleb,
No thank you.
Yeah, my Pentax always keeps me guessing. Honestly, not in a good way. If you are new to film photography, one classic question you have to ask yourself is what type of camera is right for you? And that's not a simple answer. Not like filling out a Scantron document with a number 2 pencil while the rest of the class tries to copy off you because you are the smarty pants out of the bunch. So stick with me today, and by the end, you will have a better idea of what type of camera experience you prefer shooting. And the great thing is that this episode works in multiple formats, 35 and medium format film. Because if you want a big ass SLR or rangefinder, oh baby, you can find one. And if you want to go small, you can do that too. Okay, so why don't we get into it? First things first, let's break down the basic design differences between the two film camera types, because the rangefinder camera and the SLR both have distinct characteristics that affect how you capture those sexy and subtle images. Rangefinder cameras are known for their sleek and compact design, just like the J-Type 327 Nubian Royal Starship, or as you non-super nerds call it, Queen Amidala's Starship from episode 1. They feature an integrated viewfinder and rangefinder mechanism that allows you to measure the distance and focus accurately, way more accurately than a battle droid, might I add. This means that you are actually not seeing through the lens, but a window next to the lens. This rangefinder design contributes to their portability and quiet operation, making them perfect for street photography and those candid shots of your bananas. On the other hand, SLR cameras come with a single lens reflex system. What does that mean, might you ask? Well, this means what you see through the viewfinder is exactly what the camera lens is seeing. When you press the shutter button, a mirror inside the camera just flips up like a Jedi, exposing the film to light. Not a Sith Lord, a Jedi, because Jedis are light, Siths are dark. Because of this mirror, SLRs are often a little larger and a bit more heavier due to the mechanics inside the camera. But they offer precise framing and a large inventory of interchangeable lenses for versatility. I must say, that is a bonus for sure. The amount of lenses out there for different SLR systems is vast, just like the Galactic Empire's reach, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm done.
Now, focusing is a crucial aspect of photography. Without it, what would we be? We would be just looking at some blurry ass images. So how do these two systems handle this task differently? Rangefinders are actually quite unique in their focusing mechanism that involves aligning two images in the viewfinder, ghost images, if you will. Just like the Force ghost that Qui-Gon Jinn becomes. Once these ghosts match up like putting a new pair of glasses on, your subject is in focus. It's also worth noting that focusing can be a bit wonky in low light. What I usually do is find a contrasting edge at the same focal plane and recompose. Also, moving subjects, like capturing a dueling battle between the Sith Lord and Jedi Master, is a bit tricky as well. At that point, zone focusing will be your best friend. Okay, now the SLR utilizes through the lens focusing, also known as TTL. Gotta love a good acronym. Through the lens means that what you see through the viewfinder is exactly what the camera is seeing through the lens. This allows for an accurate and reliable focusing experience, especially in those tricky conditions. Overall, focusing is a big part of these two systems. It's definitely one of those personal things that either will feel right to you or will feel like a hot pile of bantha poodoo. I really hope that you watch Phantom Menace because there's a lot of references here.
1/30th of a second.
Viewfinders, some would say, are the window to the soul. They play a big part in how photographers like you and me and your cousin Jasmine frame their beautiful trash pile images. We all take pictures of trash. Come on. We just can't get enough. So let's dive into the differences between the viewfinder experiences in these two cameras, because that's maybe one of the biggest portions. Rangefinders have a crazy unique optical viewfinder that displays different frame lines for composition. Those frame lines change with different focal lengths. So if you have a 50mm lens on your rangefinder, then those lines will show you an approximation of that focal length. Slap on a 28 and the same thing will happen. It shows you different lines for that new lens size. One thing to note is that not every rangefinder has frame lines for all lens lengths. My M6 has a wide range where my Bessa R doesn't have frame lines for 28mm. And my Leica MDA has none. I guess technically it's not a rangefinder, just the box. However, there is something called parallax error. Since you're not actually seeing through the lens, the difference between what you see through the viewfinder and what the lens is capturing will be slightly off. So accurate framing for close-up shots is a bit tricky, or kinda non-existent. Most rangefinder lenses only focus as close to 3 feet. I know, it doesn't sound like some of the greatest news. But overall, it all depends on your type of photography. Also, if you have an ultra-wide lens like I do, my 15mm Voigtlander, you will most likely need a separate viewfinder to see the field of view, since most rangefinders do not have a wide field of view built in. Now, SLRs offer almost a one-to-one viewfinder experience since you're looking directly through the camera lens. I say almost because some viewfinders on some SLRs only show you a percentage of the field of view, like 80%, but that is per camera per manufacturer. So ultimately, this means that SLRs eliminate the parallax issue, making framing super duper accurate, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi and his lightsaber. By the way, Obi-Wan's lightsaber is like the best design, hands down. Fight me, I dare you. Also, most SLRs come with an interchangeable focusing screen for alternative focusing experiences. There are split images, there are microprisms, there are standard just don't help me screens. I'm actually looking for a new microprism screen for my F3. Those little dots that come into view are kind of nice. But I must say, it is sometimes hard to find different focusing screens for your different cameras in this day and age. Now for the midi-chlorians of this camera universe. The living organisms that keep all things bonded together, lenses. So let's just chat about the versatility and the lens options for these two camera systems, baby. Because without lenses, we ain't nothing. Just a little bit of stardust out there in the galactic universe. Now, rangefinders come down to two different variations, a fixed lens rangefinder and an interchangeable lens rangefinder. Some fixed lens cameras are like the Minolta Highmatic or a Canonette, or even Olympus XA, the first version, not the second. A lot of those cameras actually have some pretty damn good lenses. And of course, a lot of you probably already know the options for interchangeable lens rangefinders. I mean, the most popular is probably the M6. But other than Leicas, you have a bunch of Voigtlanders, Konica, and Pentax cameras, all providing some dope-ass lens selections. Generally speaking, when talking about interchangeable lens rangefinders, you'll be working with prime lenses, not zooms. There are some zoom lenses for the rangefinder system, but you'll be shelling out some cash monies for those. You would have to be the queen of Naboo to even afford it. So if you're wanting to shoot different focal lengths, like a 28 or a 50 or even a long-ass 90, you'll need to carry those three lenses alongside with you, adding more bulk to your kit. You'll also have to swap between them if you want a different field of view when you're shooting, or carry two different cameras with two different focal lengths on it, because that ain't insane. Lenses for the system can get expensive, and there are not as many of them out there as compared to the billions of SLR lenses on the market. There are, however, really affordable lenses out there from TT Artisans or 7 Artisans or even Voigtlander. However, a lot of times when people pick up rangefinders, they stick to one lens because that's the look they like. However, having one lens can help create limitations to help actually boost your creativity. I have a 35mm and a 50 for my rangefinder, and I almost always go for my 35. Another great thing about the lenses for this system is that they tend to be on the smaller side, adding to the portability aspect of rangefinders. I mean, look at this Voigtlander lens. This thing is small and compact. It can fit into my mouth. Yeah, I made that joke before. With that said, SLRs shine in the lens department, almost as bright as the purple lightsaber Mace Windu uses. With interchangeable lenses, you can experience a wide variety of focal lengths to choose from, wide angles to telephotos to macro for portraits. This flexibility opens a world of creative opportunities for you to express your photography vision. And with a wide range of zoom lenses, you can have almost every sort of lens to choose from right on the front of your one camera, taking you from a 28mm to a 70mm in just one jerk of the lens. There is no denying the vastness of lenses to choose from for SLR systems. Pick a camera and you'll have hundreds of lenses at your eBay disposal and go nuts. And a lot of them are pretty cheap as well. You just have to make sure that they're not full of fungus or full of this fun guy. I must admit that shooting with my Nikon mounted with a 28-70 has been a treat, zooming in and out for all sorts of compositions, but it is heavier than my Leica M6, so there is that.
I mean...
But before we hop into the next segment, let me tell you about today's sponsor, thedarkroom.com. The Darkroom is a traditional dip and dunk lab that develops E6, C41, and all black and white films in-house. They're growing faster than ever and adding more sheens to keep up with the ever-growing demand. Thedarkroom.com has been my preferred lab for a few years now. I can always trust them with both the quality of their developing and their scanning. And that's what makes the Darkroom so wonderful. They make it easy to get your film developed, scanned, and even make prints, all from the comfort of your own home. They also offer a wide variety of print options, including true black and white prints on Ilford silver gelatin paper. All that can be ordered at the same time you develop, or can be printed later from your uploaded scans. Thedarkroom.com has even updated their mobile app, so you can actually place an order right from your toilet. Talk about efficiency. Honestly, ordering online is simple, fast, and they even provide prepaid shipping options for sending out your film for developing. So go to thedarkroom.com or download the Darkroom app to get you started. Okay, let's get back to some cameras. So now you know the differences between these two camera systems. So how do you choose? Is there a light side and a dark side to this decision? Well, this is my thing, because I'm like your Qui-Gon Jinn. Well, hopefully without the whole death thing. That would put a damper on things. Even though if you were to add them all up, it kind of sounds like SLRs are better overall on paper. And you aren't entirely wrong, but that's not the whole picture. I love rangefinders, and they are my personal favorite. And I'm sure you know that by now if you follow this channel. Most times when I go out, I either pick up my Leica or my Mamiya 7, which is just a big ass rangefinder. For me, I think it comes down to the portability of that system. The lightweight lenses matched with the rangefinder focusing is my sauce. And I feel like the reassurance that I get from those two Force Ghost images aligning puts my mind at ease, knowing that I'll have a sharp image. I enjoy SLRs, but I feel like I hunt more when I'm focusing with that system. But to completely negate what I literally just said, I have been having a lot of fun with my Nikon F3. It feels great to shoot, and that zoom that I have on the front is fantastic for being so cheap. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to the feeling that you get when making images with those cameras. I mean, before I got my F3, I would have said that my Minolta X700 was my favorite SLR, but that's just not the case anymore. And to throw a wrench into your pod racer, there are different tools for different reasons. When I go out and shoot landscapes or decaying dwellings, I take my Leica. Now, if I were to do a portrait session, I'd rather pick up my SLR. So I guess what I'm really saying is just buy both, or at least try both. Remember, the best camera is the one that suits your creative vision the best. Thanks again to thedarkroom.com for sponsoring this episode. If you want a companion article about this exact topic, Trev from The Darkroom has written a blog post, and I'll link that below for some light bedtime reading. Okay, well that will do it for me today. I'm gonna go and watch Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay, bye!
It's the goodness in my life. Goodness in my life. It's just like how